And welcome to another installment of the Daily Wayne. We're doing some experimentation here with the lighting and the backdrops and the whatnots. I hope you're patient with it. I'm gonna have a high production value one day, everybody. I do promise this to you. And the more people you tell and the more you enjoy this show, the quicker we'll get there. Although it does seem like a bit of a double-edged sword trying to get you to enjoy the show with low production quality. That's why my winning personality is on full display in these episodes. Guys, a little bit going on today, not a whole lot. World's greatest threat to democracy, aka Donald Trump, loosens the purse strings and allows access to sensitive details for Biden's transition team. This is a fun, exciting development. This lets us know that all those exciting theories about a civil war coming up were completely untrue. Although I do still feel like there'll be a mental civil war, as there has been for the past 4 years. It's only going to get more annoying. That's right. The political divisiveness is going to really get solidified in the upcoming years, I believe. There's just decreasingly less trust between parties, and that's okay. That's a good thing. I actually like it when there's gridlock in Washington. It keeps them from fucking us over even more. It really does. And it's just heartbreaking, man. It's heartbreaking to see people you love fall for the Matrix lies. It's hard to see, people you love that supported Bernie Sanders just hook, line, and sinker be like, oh yeah, well, Biden's the obvious choice. So you don't realize the DNC didn't just rob Bernie Sanders, right? They robbed Bernie Sanders, then they went next door and they robbed Tulsi Gabbard, and then they went next door and they gave Andrew Yang a giant fucking check, and told him he'd be on CNN a bunch, so he just, shut the fuck up. And now we got Andrew Yang out there talking about moving to fucking Georgia. I think he backtracked on that. But you got Andrew Yang going down to Georgia for a few months to get out the vote for the Democratic Party. The de-evolution for watching the de-evolution of intelligent people go from intelligent, discerning, objective people into completely partisanship, it really breaks my heart. I've been having a hard day just in my personal life with this, with family members that are like the guy from the Matrix, not that guy, not the guy who wants the steak, but got family members. It reminds me of the great not George Carlin, although George Carlin was great. It reminds me of the great Lewis Black, I would say has a similar act to George Carlin, but the anger is so much more palpable and, in my opinion, a little bit funnier than George Carlin. But Lewis Black used to have a great joke about going up to a Christian fundamentalist that believes the world is 5,000 years old and be like, "Oh, is that what you believe?" I'm gonna butcher it. He's like, "Oh yeah, I believe the world's 5,000 years old." He's like, and then with his fingers, Lewis Black, I like to show him a fossil. And then they don't believe in the fossil. I feel like that's the conversation I have with everybody. I'll be like, "Oh, we're still Democrats? Can you explain to me why NAFTA got passed and why Biden's Secretary of Treasury, was it Blinken or Yellen? I think it's Yellen that's going to be the Treasury Secretary. It's all for that. It's all for free trade agreements. Donald Trump gets into office on his third day and nixes the TPP. But meanwhile, we're supposed to believe that these Democrats have the best interest of the working class when they're passing free trade agreements that are known by every economic mind on the planet to de-improve the American earning potential. It might allow to cheaper products that we can buy in stores, but it decimates the American standard of living in the long run. And call me conspiratorial, and I hope you do. Some of my favorite people have referred to conspiracy theories in the rankings. I'm a fucking black belt. All right? I don't know if I believe in any of this shit, but I can talk to you about archons as well as I can talk to you about, JFK, as well as I can talk to you about kicking babies over in incubators. I know about all that shit. And a lot of it's fucking true. And it's just so goddamn heartbreaking to see people like, well, I know they stole the election from Bernie Sanders twice, and I know they blackballed Kamala Harris, and I know they blackballed Andrew Yang until they found that video of him eating a dog and threatened to blackmail him unless he played ball. I know about all these things. That's not true. I know about all these things, but I still think that the guy who was at the federal level of government as a senator and vice president for half a fucking century, who's an architect of everything that's led to the downfall or continuing downfall of this country, that guy. That's the guy. And it just breaks my fuck. It really does. It's heartbreaking is the word for it. To see smart people that you love be so fucking retarded. To have a case of Stockholm Syndrome that allows them to think Donald Trump is less corrupt than Joe Biden. I don't know how an individual managed to go from being a fucking hotel manager to being president and is somehow capable of more destruction and corrupt activity in 4 years than somebody who's been there for 47 fucking years, who's literally overseen the decimation of the American working class standard of living, who's seen the devaluation of our currency over the past 50 years, who gleefully fucking encouraged quantitative easing and all these. He's gonna save us. He's the leader we need. Sorry, Tim Dillon, I'm kind of jacking your style here, but I appreciate it. And remember, I'm an open micer, so hopefully I'm going to work out of this. I'm going to find my own voice. You gave me the inspiration. You said, don't afraid to not be funny. Well, I'm not afraid to rely on tropes that I find funny from comedians that I respect. So I'm sorry. Thank you, Tim. I really do appreciate what that guy does. He's another level-headed guy out there. I hope to get to work with him one day. He's a good inspiration. Even though you're an overweight, average-looking white guy, you can make everybody believe you're gay and rise to the top of the comedy scene. It truly is inspirational. Thank you, Tim. But yeah, it's just the heartbreaking nature of it. It's all based on this idea that Trump was a clear and present danger to American democracy, which is a fucking misnomer, not what this country's supposed to be. We're a representative republic, but whatever. We'll go with, the 51% can decide that 49% should eat shit on a daily basis. That seems like a fucking wonderful way to run a country. It really does. And like this existential threat that is Donald Trump to the American way of life, who poses a clear fascist threat to our government. He's gone, and bring on the lockdowns from our savior, Joe Biden. He's got to save us all. Mask mandates and lockdown, those aren't fascist. We need to get it under control. Well, stay the fuck home if you want to get it under control. I swear to God, if I hear another fucking person talk about what I should do with my life, I'm going to snap. These fucking people who think they know, they're like, oh yeah, I took a Skillshare class in epidemiology and I'm a fucking expert. You need to stay your ass at home. Get the fuck out of here. It's just like, I don't know about you, but I went to college for a feminist basket weaving degree, and you just need to know that Donald Trump is a fascist. Well, can you describe the term fascist? No. Okay. I'm not going to bitch about it. It's been wearing on me today with some personal relationships and the way they view the world. And it's not intelligence. They're not dumb people. I'm sure in the alternative universe that the film documentary series The Matrix takes place in, I'm sure there was a lot of intelligent people that took the blue pill. It's easier. It's not an intelligence thing. I can't put a finger on what it is that separates people who are able to go, hey, seems like these people who claim to be working in our best interest are really just fucking us all the time. I can't put a finger on it. It's something I've really thought a lot about. What is it within a human being that lets them see it? I can't put a finger on it. Hopefully that was a little bit funny. It didn't sound funny, but we're trying and we're learning together. There is an open casting call for somebody to sit on the couch while I do these things, and hopefully I can make them laugh. That way I have a little bit better barometer of what I'm doing out here. Ugh. Drink a beer. I do an outline over here on my little whiteboard. That's why I'm looking at it. Let's see. It seems like fucking Marco Rubio had a hell of a quote today. Let's see what old Marco said. Oh, Marco, I support American great. No, that's not it. Where was it? Oh, yeah. Marco Rubio says Joe Biden's Ivy League cabinet will be polite and orderly caretakers of the American decline. That seems like a guy who has somebody on his staff who really fucking gets it and relayed that idea to him. That's exactly how I feel. It's the decorum that Donald Trump shat on is the smokescreen that these pricks use to sell us out. The narcissism and the cognitive dissonance these people have is great. To watch Joe Biden go on stage and not even give a second thought to the damage he's done to this country over 50 years and just assume that he is well equipped to, help the American. It has to be alive. They have to be aware of what they're doing. Either that or they're just so self-absorbed and self-interested and so compromised through blackmail honeypot schemes that they don't give a fuck. That's what I do. I go out there, I tell America I love them. And then they go out there and they say, I love America. This is great. We're going to do good. And then they systematically, with every single decision they make, sell this country down the fucking gutter. Woo! It's amazing how people can't see it. And you got, you would think after, somebody like my father's age, somebody probably like your father's age in their 60s and 70s, and my dad comes from the Midwest. He's a Union Democrat type guy. To be able to be on this planet for 65, 70 years and not realize that you're being played makes absolutely no sense to me, other than you have a religious-like belief in the state. That's the only thing that can possibly make sense. It's got to be the same exact thing that these elderly Catholic people are like, oh, there would be no fucking of children in our church. There's no children fucking going on in the church, in the Sunday school, before a mass. It's like that. It's like an old African-American lady refusing to believe that Bill Cosby's a rapist. They just hold these ideas so true and so into themselves that it's part of their identity. And it's the same thing, like it's talked about. Like you go up and you challenge one of these people and you say, hey, I know you're a lifelong Democrat. What do you think about Obama being the deporter-in-chief amongst illegals? Oh, no. I didn't have a single college professor in my feminist basket-weaving major that made that point. Why would I ever have such a thought? Everybody knows the Republicans are evil. That's why they let a New York liberal with awards from the NCAA, NAACP, might as well be the same thing. Let's just be completely honest. NAACP, a guy who's gotten awards from that institution became racist. It's going to be interesting to see, once Trump isn't such a political hot button, how many people, start going to his parties again. Because they know he's got influence. That's what's undeniable at this point. Donald Trump has fucking influence, regardless of what political position he holds. So it's going to be really interesting to see how many of these wealthy, famous celebrity types who might be a little bit down on their career might not have as many views as they had in 2015. Coming up and warming up to Trump, snuggling up to him. Hey, let's make a deal. I think Jeff Zucker might be one of those guys. Of course, he's currently experiencing what it's like to be a CEO of a failing brand that's owned by a failing company that's in massive debt. Massive debt. Aren't you, AT&T? Nobody likes to talk about it. Nobody likes to really understand what's going on with business in this world. They don't talk about CNN. I swear to God, the best thing you could possibly do would be to make Donald Trump get in a bidding war for your company. He might do it. He might sell the fucking farm in order to own that brand. I think that would be hilarious. Well, speaking of media monopolization, Viacom sells Simon & Schuster to Penguin Random House. Good. We're going to have one company that publishes books. You also might have heard about Penguin Random House because their employees are currently bitching and moaning about publishing a book that helps people. Yeah. Hey, these people don't want to be helped. So when they see other people find inspiration through, thought leaders and no, can't have any of that. Why Why would we want young men to feel better? That would be awful. That might lead to a successful society. Why would we want young men to live a life of meaning and purpose where they accomplish goals that they set? That seems awful. That seems like the exact opposite of working for Starbucks and living with 7 people in an apartment until you're 47. It doesn't seem like that. Amazing. Jordan Peterson, of course, is getting ready to release his new book, 12 More Rules for Life. Could have been a little bit more creative on the title there, JP. Love you, but creativity is always appreciated. Yeah, and it's the Joe Rogan going to Spotify. The age of the entitled employee, as some of my favorite YouTubers might say. The quarter, and you do great work, Jeremy. Thank you. It's unconscionable that I and many other people I know work their fingers to the bone for $15 to $20 an hour and are terrified to do anything wrong or speak up or say the wrong thing at their shitty menial jobs. But these people who have an undeserved air of self-importance because they graduated from a private college that their parents paid for, and it's thus given them an intellectual superiority complex amongst us common folk, that they are willing to they're literally willing to speak out against the boss man based on the product that's being promoted and produced by the company when they're making $100,000 a year. There's no thought that maybe this is a bad idea. No, because they've been coddled and fucking and had their whole lives facilitated by safety-minded people that there is no idea. It's like, oh, well, maybe I shouldn't bite the fucking hand that feeds. Maybe I should just shut the fuck up and let people be happy and read the books that are obviously in demand. That's never the case. It's never the case. God, I'm really trying to be funny today, but it's hard. Today's a hard day to be funny. It's been tough for me, but the perseverance, my YouTube gods out there say you got to make it every day. You got to do the grind, regardless of how much you want to do bad things. But some good news. It looks like the return of Beavis and Butthead is going to happen. I'm looking forward to that. Mike Judge made a small appearance on the Joe Rogan Experience today. Thank you, the god Joe Rogan. And he said it looked like everything was a green light for the new Beavis and Butthead. It'll be interesting to see how that show handles the modern times. I wonder what music videos they're going to play. I wonder what tropes they're going to make fun of. Seriously, like Mike Judge, if he does a good Beavis and Butthead reboot that goes hard against all the idiocracy type aspects of our culture right now, he's going to win big. And it could be one of those shows that breaks the mold and allows comics and funny people to feel like they can be themselves again. And that's what I'm looking forward to. And I think we really might be on the air of that. If they ever let us gather in public again, I think comedy's going to be really, really good in the future. I really do. Just the idea that, Mike Judge obviously has a lot of pull, but the idea that a network or a streaming service would greenlight Mike Judge to do another Beavis and Butthead. Mike Judge seems like the type of guy who's going to demand 100% creative control, and I hope he does, and I hope it's funny. That's one of those shows that could really be a turning point for comedy. Other than that, speaking of reboots, apparently Clifford the Big Red Dog is getting a live action film adaptation, and that sounds terrifying. I don't know if you've seen the pictures or not, but it's a golden lab appropriating Native American culture by being red. Yeah, yikes. That's what I thought. What's he gonna? I don't really have any jokes prepared. What's Clifford gonna do? Is he gonna teach the kids about genocide and why it's bad and why you shouldn't, take on the appearance? This is assuming, of course, that you think Native Americans have red tinted skin, which they don't. It's nowhere near red. It's nowhere near red. Just another attempt to cash in on a previously established intellectual property because creativity is dead. But it doesn't have to be, and you can help. Guys, please like, subscribe, and share to Squeechpunk Media. Might have some branding change-ups in the future. This is just getting started. I want Squeechpunk Media to be the parent company I want all of the State of Wayne and the Daily Wayne to be my own thing. And then I want to start eventually producing under shows under the Squeech Monk Media banner. You guys are great. Thank you for stopping by. Really appreciate it. Have a good day. Love you.